As an American coming to Europe, I was excited to get away from the nauseating excess of Trump everywhere. Coming to Germany, I was expecting to see the opposite of what is happening in America currently. The image I had of Germany was that it was the progressive leader of Europe and almost everyone learned from their past. But once I got here and I learned about the AfD and saw the parallels to current day America with the rise of far-right populism, I was shocked. So this film is me attempting to understand what is happening in Europe and even my own country by extension, because this is a sign of something much, much bigger that I feel a lot of people aren't acknowledging.
The AfD is a right-wing populist party who is quite new in the political system of Germany. It was founded in 2013 by a group of economists, conservative economists who want to stop Euro politics of the German government to save Greece and other Euro countries. It was in these days more or less moderate, liberal conservative, not extremist, but then there was an internal coup d'etat, you can say a putsch against the then leader Lucke. And he left the party in 2015, and since 2015, 3 years ago, the party is radicalizing more and more into the direction of right-wing extremism.
Und deswegen müssen wir den Islam als Bedrohung ernst nehmen, liebe Freunde. Dieses ist und könnte eine tödliche Bedrohung sein. Er ist es nicht von Hause aus. Denn wenn wir uns nicht verloren hätten, wenn wir noch wüssten, wer wir sind, wenn wir eine intakte Identität hätten, dann würde uns der Islam gar nicht bedrohen. Deswegen bin ich kein Feind des Islam. Ich bin in religiösen Dingen tatsächlich tolerant. Ich sage aber, der Islam, der ist mit unseren Wertevorstellungen, mit unserer Art zu leben tatsächlich unvereinbar. Der Islam, der hat eine Heimat, das ist der Orient und meinetwegen Schwarzafrika, aber seine Heimat heißt nicht Sachsen-Anhalt, Deutschland und Europa.
We're talking about repressing one culture in order to strengthen the other, aren't we?
No, we don't. Unless you tell me that we repress anyone.
Well, you don't want minarets and you don't want people
that's
wearing
repressing.
burqas.
Oh, that's interesting. If we have laws in Germany and want that these German laws are being stick to, do we repress someone? Is that what you're telling me?
Not being able to have a minaret, not being able to dress the way you want, isn't that repression?
So you think that
that's normal?
You think that burqas and veils should be worn in public everywhere in Germany?
Why shouldn't they be? Tell me why.
Why should they?
Why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they?
Well, I think they don't have to.
So they are dealing with the National Socialist history of Germany, trying to undefine some major, you can say, political ideas of the old German democracy and trying to give the new right-wing feelings of part of the society some sort of arguments. And so they are going against foreigners, against asylum seekers, they are going against the liberal elites, how they say, and they are going still against the European integration process and the euro.
I think there's good reason to question just to be proud of everything that German culture in the past and history and culture will stereotypes include, because with very dark chapters, if not the darkest in the history of mankind. And I would argue that therefore you need to be aware of these things. You need to have a different sense of proudness about being German than with other countries. So in other countries and nations, I think they are more, their history, it's a bad comparison, but it's a bit more innocent than ours, if not a lot, depends on the nation. And that's why I would argue that it's always, we need to differentiate and be aware of our past and what has happened both during the First as well as during the Second World War and during the Nazi regime especially, but also with the GDR. So that's the reason why it's always will be a bit difficult to be proud of your German heritage.
I've had a lot of encounters with Trump supporters. I usually try to hear people out, but it becomes increasingly difficult too when they are building detention camps in my country and the rhetoric of each side is becoming more and more divided. People tell me I'm believing the propaganda, while people I align with politically tell them that they're doing the same. It feels like the divisions culturally are getting deeper and deeper by the day, and I hope it doesn't reach the point of no return. When I see similar divisions happening all across Europe, while it is a different problem, it feels more or less shockingly familiar. The world is at a vulnerable place, and democracy is being undermined by people who are putting their own selfish interests over the interests of the world.
We had after 1919 the idea that history will end. Francis Fukuyama, a famous neoconservative then, today he's more a realist, not any longer a neoconservative, but that there will be no more conflicts inside our new world after the Cold War. That was a mistake. Unfortunately, it was a mistake. And unluckily, we have this rising of Islamist terrorism. We have the rising of unsecure work circumstances for many people. We have refugees and so on. The world is not getting secure at this moment. And out of the insecurity, out of the globalization and out of the fear of ordinary people that they can lose everything they have, they are going back to the nation state, they are going back into the direction of nationalism and isolationism.
Verfolgt wird. Bildung, Schulungswesen, was vernachlässigt wird, fehlten immer die Gelder für. Und da kann was nicht stimmen. Wenn plötzlich Millionen für unsere Goldstücke ausgegeben werden, dann frage ich mich, wo kommt das Geld denn her? Wie kann man als Deutschland GmbH, eine GmbH sind wir seit 1999, wie kann man so einem Land so viel Schulden zukommen lassen? Das geht doch nicht.
Because 2/3 of their voters are doing it just to protest against the established parties. And I wouldn't say that all of them forget our past. Some do have an issue with that we focus too much on the Second World War, on the Nazis in our history. But I think generally they try to know their history, or generally they care about history, but that maybe they draw the wrong conclusions from it. So yeah, I'm feeling they should focus more on what actually happened and less on how they think the narrative is today about our history.
My generation, the young people of the world, are really the ones who have a vested interest in keeping this world okay. We have grown up a vast majority of our lives in a post-9/11 world and never knew the same freedoms our parents' generation did. The media cycle keeps people in fear, the internet keeps people informed, but also keeps people losing faith in society. We need to come together and figure out what the hell is going on and what way to come out of this, because the institutions that people have lived with for decades might not be around for too much longer.